Like first, it's time. Hey, hello, everybody. My name's Steven Hughes. Sorry, my computer is just garbage. So I have to do a part three. I'm doing so much work for you guys. It's ridiculous. I feel bad. Um, so for on the first part, I was talking to you guys about how the Reds and the Nationals clinched a spot into the playoffs. Nationals clinching a spot for the first time since 1933. The Reds clinching a spot into the playoffs for the first time since 2010. So everything's looking pretty dang good for those two teams. Then I had on the first part and the second part of the show, Chris. No, pardon me, not Chris. Sam. Sam Rosen. He was the host of Sam's Situation. He was on our show talking to me about how the Los Angeles Dodgers and Angels have been doing this year, and he gave me a lot of great info, a lot of surprising statements. But we'll go from there. But the special guest I was talking to you guys about is here on the phone with me. His name is Robert Dieters. He's the president of National Sports and the Giants beat analyst. Robert, welcome to the show.
Hey Steven, how are you?
Oh, great as always, Robert. Thank you for being on the show once again. So, the Giants, they got the win today, 9-2, sweeping the Rockies at AT&T Park. The magic number for the Giants is now 4 after the Dodgers losing to the Nationals today, really widening the lead for the Giants now to 9.5. The Giants now have a 99.9% chance of making it to the playoffs. Dodgers have a 9% chance of making it to the playoffs. Robert, tell me how the Giants have been doing so far, and do you think they're going to make it to the playoffs?
Steven, that's a question that is simple to answer. Yes. Yes, they're going to make it with a 10-game lead. Are you kidding me? They should make it. This is a team that has offense, has been clicking ever since we got the trades. Marco Scudero and Hunter Pence coming on this team. I think this team is going to do really well in the playoffs. That 2010 run's been great. I think the pitching, it's been a little off. I can agree with that. I know Volasong has been tough in his last 7 starts. A 10.31 ERA isn't what you expect in him, but if the pitching goes well, Zito hasn't pitched bad. Lincecum hasn't pitched bad. And you see Madison Bumgarner doing well, and you have three consistent starters with your horse, Matt Cain. Matt Cain is your ace. And this team has great pitching staff. These guys, I think, can make it. And relieving, I know Bruce Bochy has done a lot. He actually used 17 relievers in the last 2 games against the Rockies. That was before tonight. And it's been interesting how the relievers have made a huge impact for this whole season.
Yeah, I agree with you right there, Robert. The Giants obviously doing very well. Um, just just winning games, just as simple as that. They don't have the best roster in Major League Baseball. They do have some very good players in Buster Posey and Pablo Sandoval, but their team is not stacked like the Yankees or the Rangers or get another team, the Reds. The Reds have a lot of great guys, but the Reds are possible. The Reds possibly playing the Giants. So if the season ended today, the Giants would play the Reds in the NLDS. Cincinnati does lead the season series 4-3, so not so good stuff for the Giants. Great stuff for the Reds, but for the Giants, their their schedule for the rest of the season, the winning percentage for their opponents is a 473, and they're playing not a lot of great teams to end the year. Just looking at it, they're playing San Diego. They're starting a series against San Diego tomorrow. Then they're playing Arizona. Then they're playing San Diego again. Then they're playing Los Angeles to end the year. So San Diego, Arizona, San Diego. Obviously, not those teams are not that good. Robert, do you think that the Giants could slip up against these teams? Because I think the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and possibly the Dodgers would like to be the party pooper and possibly knock the Giants off the NL West lead.
I think the Giants will probably almost win every game, no doubt. I see maybe Arizona to be a little bit of competition, but They haven't been a good team. Padres haven't been a good team. And the Dodgers, well, they're over 500, but, since that whole situation with the Dodgers getting the trades and everything, they haven't been as well, I think. They just haven't came together as a team. That's what I think for the Dodgers, and maybe that's why they haven't been so good. And I think the Giants could pretty much take at least 2 out of 3 on each one. They will not lose like 2 out of 3, I think, unless they're really tired or something like that because of fatigue. But, I think Bruce Bochy over these games are probably going to switch relievers and starting pitching. Eric Hacker could probably get another start. We don't know. And, they're going to have to mix it up because, the playoffs are going to want to, save Matt Cain and save all the pitchers for the playoffs and want to rest them more. And you're going to see a lot more guys off the bench starting for a couple of games, which is a good thing because they want to see who can make this roster for the playoffs.
Yeah, you gotta rest your starters, and that's probably gonna happen for the Giants once they clinch a spot to the playoffs. That could possibly be this weekend at the latest. They can't do it tomorrow, but it looks like this weekend is the latest they will clinch a spot to the playoffs. It looks like they can possibly clinch the NL West by next week, but. It looks like the Giants have this in the bag. The Dodgers, their season is just not doing so well. They're ending the season, so they're ending the season on a very hard note as they just finished a series against Washington. And now they're playing Cincinnati, who just clinched a spot into the playoffs also. So Robert, with the schedule, with the strength of the schedule for the Dodgers being so poor, really against Cincinnati, against San Diego has a pretty decent record, and then San Francisco at the end of the year. Do you see the Dodgers trying to make a push or just starting to fade away from the mix, possibly being having a double-digit deficit over the or below the Giants?
I don't know about the Dodgers yet. They're trying to make a push. They've had some close games against Washington, and it's going to be interesting to see how they pull through this. I know if the Giants keep on winning and the Dodgers keep on losing, it's going to be really bad. But against the Reds, that's going to be really tough for the Dodgers. As you said, that's a tough schedule. And then against the Giants, who are probably going to clinch this NL West, now you're looking at teams that are playoffs, and they're hard to beat. And, seeing the Reds and the Giants, it's going to be hard to tell who's going to win that game because it's just the pitching is really good for both sides, and the batting is really good too. I have to say, Joey Votto, they got him back, and I see Johnny Cueto and Matt Latos as being the star pitchers for the Reds.
Yeah, just the Reds look like have more depth. It looks like just a little bit more depth than the Giants do. It looks like the pitching rotation. I'll give the push there to the Giants, but after that, the offense and the defense, in my opinion, will go to the Reds. The Giants' offense, it obviously in recent weeks been really on fire, the offense, but during the beginning of the season this year and during in the entire year last year, their offense wasn't clicking. Their pitching was doing good, and then the games would end like 3-1 or 2-1 or 1-0. The Giants would lose, and those were unfortunate games for the Giants to lose. So, do you think that since the Robert, do you think that since the Giants offense has done so much better and the pitching has just done awesome just always, do you think that the Giants everything is starting to click now, like what happened in 2010?
Yeah, I think it is, Steven, and you look, we know Melky Cabrera is gone, and there's been some talk saying, what if he comes back, off that suspension, and a lot of people have been talking about that as well. I'm also going a little off topic here, but I see the Giants as clinching as a 2010 team. I see their pitching really good, and Tito could be a potential player in that roster having a 12-8 record. And I see the Giants becoming a good team because Barry Zito did really well this season. I'm really happy for him. This is what the Giants really needed for Zito to actually do really well in the season, they're going to have to push through that playoff berth. Lincecum hasn't had a great season, and imagine only 3 starters being your pretty much the guys who get all the wins. And you see Zito coming out of nowhere this season, and he hasn't been that much of a talk, but you see him coming out from having horrible season with the Giants, horrible seasons my bad, and then having a really good season with the Giants, with having like the one really good season for the Giants. And we don't know him as the playoffs yet. We don't really know what he can really do. So, and I think as long as Mad Bum has been, and some of these players haven't been at the playoffs, and some of them have. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to this team.
Yeah, just I think the Giants will make it to the playoffs, obviously, but the Dodgers do have another game to play. Like they have 13 games remaining, the Giants have 12. So, um, actually, pardon me. It's both teams have 12, so my mistake right there. But Robert, can we just talk about one more division, the AL West? Can you do that?
Yes, I can, Steven. I will do any NLS or ALS topics that you give me.
All right, so let's just I'll so last topic will be the AL West. So that's probably the second most competitive division right now, looking for a playoff spot. As Texas, they're starting to fall off a little bit, but Oakland is just standing there. Is really not done a lot to really catch up to the Rangers, as they're still 3.5 back of Texas, and then the Los Angeles Angels, they are 7.5 back. So Robert, do you see the A's possibly passing the Rangers if the Rangers start to slip off, or do you see the A's sticking at their second place spot right now and clinching a wild card spot?
Well, the A's have a tough schedule. They play the Yankees next, and that's gonna be a good series. And I don't see. I mean, you look at the Yankees, and they have a really good team. They have one of the greatest offenses in the AL, and they have really good pitching as well. They don't have the best pitching, but they have really good. And I'm gonna have to say that the A's will probably just take a wild card. I can't see them catching up to the Rangers because they have the tough three set series against the Yankees, and I think they might. I don't know. They could take 2 out of 3. It would be a really tough call to say, but if the A's as offense today, if they won 12-4, I think if they click and they get over 4 or more runs, they'll be a good team, and they can probably take the Yankees 2 out of 3.
Yeah, just what I see in the Giants. Oh, what the heck? My bad. What I see in the A's is a team that has gone through so much this year, from really becoming the hated team in Major League Baseball, then becoming a team that's starting to rise in the standings and in the wild card, and then losing Bartolo Colon because of suspension, putting the team under the bus once again, and then starting to rise up again, and they're just doing terrific. But the thing is, they're starting a series at Yankee Stadium tomorrow. Then they're playing against Texas. Then they're playing against Seattle, which is going to be that should be easy for the A's. Then they're playing Texas again. Is this going to be a concern for the A's as they wind down towards the end of the season? The competition that they play the Yankees. That'll be the last team outside the AL West they'll be playing. Then Texas, then Seattle, then Texas again. Is that going to be a problem?
I see the A's maybe taking someone from the Rangers. I really think that. They're a good enough team to maybe get some wins. I know the Rangers have the best lineup, and they don't have the best pitching. And I think the A's can take advantage of it. And if you look at the A's, they have been a really good team in the offense. You don't see it as much. You see them becoming a really great team. We know Anderson is out for the rest of the season. Hopefully he'll come back if the A's make playoffs, which they probably will. I'm not going to guarantee anything yet because some teams are still in the race. But see the A's as a team where their starting pitching really has to develop. They're developed, but I'm just saying they have to be consistent and they have to be really good in these next series. If they really want to take the Rangers, good offense and good pitching is going to do it. But if the Rangers have really good offense and they have okay pitching, then they're probably